Alright guys, what's going on? It's Jeff for Reef.com, and today we're going to be talking about Zoanthid pests. If this is your first time being here, this is where I talk about everything saltwater aquarium related, and if you're as passionate about saltwater aquariums as I am, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free and I greatly appreciate it. Alright, so let's jump into it. So most of you guys have seen on my other videos where I've talked about having zoanthid eating spiders in my nano reef tank, and how I've been dealing with it up to this point has been using a turkey baster. I put out a video a couple months ago about dipping your corals. Well, with the nano reef tank, only one time did I not dip corals that were going into that tank, and this has really been the starting point for this whole problem. So this isn't the first pest that I've pulled off the zoanthids. The first one that I got off was a zoanthid eating nudibranch, which I only caught because I saw the zoanthid close up, and then I saw a skirt. I kept on watching it, and as it started to move, I realized that what it was. So really what this video is, things happen in the hobby, mistakes happen. And really everything that I've always been about with Mad Hatter's Reef is sharing information, the good and the bad. And this is something that I'm going to have to deal with for a little while. I'm going to be dipping the zoanthids today, but I'd be willing to bet it's going to take a couple shots to get through this. And to start things off, let's take a look at the zoanthid eating nudibranch. So here's a quick shot of the zoanthid eating nudibranch, and this guy pulled off the zoanthids. All I could see was his tail. I couldn't see his head, and he slowly moved over the zoanthids. I realized what he was. So last week when I was working on a video, I was checking out the zoanthids, and I realized that I saw another spider eating zoanthid. So I grabbed the gear that I used the first time to remove 6 or 7 of them and went to work. They are very similar to ticks. They are hard to pull off the zoanthid, but once you free them, they're pretty easy to move around. So what I was doing with that little pipette was blowing water over them multiple times to kind of get them to loosen up, and once they loosened up, I was able to suck them up and remove them from the tank. And you can see the spider eating zoanthid bouncing around as I push the water in and out of the vial. It's about the size of a tick too. It's kind of a weird little critter. After a couple cameras, here is the best shot that I could come up with for the zoanthid eating spider. And you can see why so many people, when their zoanthids close up, they don't know why it's happening. It's most often due to a pest eating the zoanthids. Now I'm at a point where I need to start treating this problem. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to be using Coral RX, the same stuff that I use to dip corals when I'm introducing them to the tank. Well, my plan is to take the zoanthids out of the tank and put them in a dip solution every couple of weeks. Now, coral dip is pretty rough on corals, but zoanthids are pretty resilient. So my plan is to take the corals out every week to 2 weeks and dip them until I'm not seeing any signs of the pest on the zoanthids, and the zoanthids start opening up. Now for the dose on the Coral RX, I'm going to be going a little bit heavier than I typically would, just because I want to give this zoanthids the best shot that I can for getting this crap off them, and so they can survive. And I understand that this is going to be not a one-time shot fix to cure the zoanthids of the spiders. This is going to be something that's going to be an ongoing battle for a while, and it's going to take me probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 doses just to control it, not to eradicate them from the tank. Plan B is to remove the zoanthids from the tank, starve out the zoanthid eating critters in the nano tank, and then continue to treat the
zoanthids in a quarantine tank setup for the corals. Now that's probably the better option of the two, but this is also kind of an experiment to see if I can remove the pest from the zoanthids using this method as opposed to using the other method.
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by.
In closing, guys, you know, it's very important to make sure you dip your corals. So if you're not dipping your corals and want to learn how, check out my video. Link is in the description below. It's way better to be proactive than reactive. Be sure to check that video out and put it to work for your tank.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you next time right here with a brand new video.
Okay.